Hello, I'm Dr. Woodall, and I just wanted to introduce myself and go over the highlights of the syllabus before class gets started. As you know, you signed up for Government and Politics, POS 110, and this is solely an online class. If you have ever taken an American politics class before, maybe you took one at a community college and you transferred it in to ASU, or say you took 110 before and you got a C grade or better, then you don't want to retake this class because you won't get the credit for the class even if you get an A+ in it. So you want to be sure and think back, look at your transcripts, and make sure you haven't taken this class before. Now, if you have taken it before, but you got a D or an E, then you're retaking it, then that's fine. Okay, but just keep in mind, I don't want you to kind of waste your time taking the class if you really don't need it. I am in the core building as well, for those that are around campus. I'm going to be holding office hours on Tuesdays between 10:30 and noon, and then also 2 and 3. And the teaching assistant for this class, her name is Jill Carley. She's a PhD student in American politics. She's TA'd for me before. She's fantastic, and she also will have office hours. If you look on the syllabus, you can see her office hours, and she's in room 6767, which is where a lot of TAs are, where their cubicles are. So if you need to see her, you can see her on either Thursdays or Fridays. Probably the best way to get in touch with both of us is, of course, via email. This is an online class. We didn't have to have in-person office hours, but I thought, well, we're going to be there anyway on campus. Might as well hold them for those that want to come in and talk to us face-to-face. So feel free to do that. I encourage it, particularly if you're having problems with a concept or a chapter. Sometimes it's easier to have a 5-minute conversation about it as opposed to going back and forth on email or whatever. It's really important that you read the syllabus thoroughly. You have a quiz actually on the syllabus worth 25 points. That's going to be due Friday the 22nd by 11 p.m. So I take what's in the syllabus seriously, as should you, and it seems like there's like a lot of rules and guidelines, but it's because it's not an online class, and so I have to be pretty particular and specific with certain rules. Also because there's so many of you in this class. Okay, there's going to be probably around 160 of you, maybe 165 when all's said and done. Requirements for the class: the New American Democracy, 6th edition, Fiorina, Peterson, Johnson, and Mayer. I know there's an alternative edition to this book, and some people emailed me asking if they could use that edition. Look through them. See if they're different. How different are they? Are you willing to take responsibility for the differences and be kind of organized enough to know, I don't need to know that part in this chapter, or they flipped chapters 2 and 3 around, or whatever. If you are and you're on top of things and it's a lot less expensive for you to get the alternative edition, then feel free to do so. That's not the one I'm using, and I'm not going to be responsible for saying, which chapter is the equivalent to which chapter in your book. That's something that you'll have to do. But if you're willing to do it, then be my guest. It's also required in this class that you keep up with the news, okay? Reputable national newspapers, such as the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post. There's realclearpolitics.com, which really is like a meta-analysis of all the news and politics of the day taken from various newspapers and online sources, including the blogosphere. So you want to be sure that you're keeping up with national current events, which most of you that are in this class actually are not political science majors, which means you're taking this because you want to, or maybe to fulfill a social and behavioral requirement. But either way, I'm hoping it's because you're somewhat interested in American politics and government. Something else that's required for this class is called the Respondus Lockdown Browser. For those that haven't used it before, it's a special browser that you have to download, and it's free. And you download it, and it locks down your ability to print, copy, or go to other URLs or use other applications such as I am while you're taking a test or quiz. It's super easy to use. I've used it before. I've had very selective minor problems with very selective minority group of students. Overall, the vast majority of students, it was no problem at all. That's why I'm using it again, because it's pretty reliable. So you have to download the technology, download the user guide, print out the user guide. It should take you 20 seconds to download it, probably 10 minutes to familiarize yourself with the technology. And every time you take a quiz or exam, you have to use this browser. So you don't use Firefox or Explorer or Safari or anything. You have to open up the test using this browser, or you're going to get a big error message. Okay, so be sure you read that. If you've never taken an online class before, you need to kind of acquaint yourself with Blackboard and with kind of how online classes work. We can't tutor you on this because we don't have time, but go to ASUIT. I gave you ASU online. I gave you a website under special notices that you could go to try to familiarize yourself with the technology. It's not really difficult. You just need to get used to it. Grading and assessments. There's going to be 3 exams, 3 quizzes, and a syllabus quiz. And I have this big note about exams and quizzes. I'm not going to go over that again verbally, but it's very important that you read that and take it seriously. There's also substantive discussion board posts that you'll be required to do. You have 6 opportunities throughout the semester to do so, but only 3 are required. Okay, and then also, who are you post? I like to get to know my students a little bit. This is worth just 10 points. I started it off. You could post a picture of yourself as well. That'd be great. And it's kind of an easy 10 points, but also so we could try to get to know each other. Another thing you should know about this class, it really is pretty much going to be team taught with Jill and I. In mid-March, actually, the beginning of your spring break, I believe. March 14th, I'm expecting my 3rd child. And we're very excited about that. And what happens is I go on leave the second half of the semester, and Jill Carley, the TA, takes over as the instructor of the course. So it's really important that you ask questions if anything's confusing, or you're unclear of any certain requirements. You want to ask us the first week of school so we could work that out for you. All of the exams and quizzes have already been created by myself, and like I said, Jill has TA'd for me before. The director of our school has great confidence in her as well, and that's why we're going to be pretty much teaching this class with her taking over, like I said, in mid-March. So be sure to read the syllabus very carefully, look at the due dates. Any questions at all, do not hesitate to ask me. I'd be more than happy to help, as would Jill. It seems very clear to me, but I made the syllabus, so it may not be very clear to you. Just ask, post, send me an email. I'll have a forum for housekeeping ideas and for housekeeping issues, and we'll go from there. I look forward to a good semester. Thanks.